So we are here at the Itoya booth at the National Stationery Show in Jacob Javits Center, and I am with Don Takemura of Itoya of America. And Itoya is a company that we work with to get sailor products and also a lot of the portfolio products as well. So there's a lot to take a look at. What we wanted just to kind of like go over was maybe some of the new stuff, or maybe some of the things that you've seen here, Don, that like people have kind of like, you know, gravitated towards, and what was exciting for them.
Absolutely, yeah. It was kind of a strange thing that we're even here, because like the stationery show has always been in May.
Right.
And it got combined with New York Now, and we're like, let's give it a try. I used to walk the show, both the stationery show as well as New York Now, and now it's combined. It's a perfect opportunity. We haven't done this show maybe in 8 years, I want to say, and so we didn't know what to expect. So we got a little tiny 10 by 10 booth, and
it's cozy.
Our product out, and people are coming by and writing orders, and we've had lines 3 deep, and so it's been pretty cool, and we didn't know quite what to expect, but it's been a good response.
Well, it's like relatively unassuming, but it packs a lot of quality, kind of like the kind of making a little segue here into like the sailor product. One of the things we had just recently picked up was the King of Pen, which is now available in the Fresca Blue and the Royal Tangerine. And as you can see here, you have like the Goldilocks. You could find which one is the perfect size for you. So you have the standard, the large, and then this is the King of Pen. This is the big bad boy here. And so how have these really been recepted like across?
They've been amazing. So the Fresca Blue started out a little over a year ago, where it was our first North America exclusive color. So we started introducing those to try to create products that were more specific to our market here. In Japan, when a sailor creates a lot of pens, they may only create it in a couple different nib sizes, or they'll make it in just the standard size, not the large. So this gave us the opportunity to bring a color in, both the large and the standard, across all 7 nib sizes for both of them. So that made it available to kind of for everybody. That was kind of the design of that.
Right.
And so that's where we started, and we went to all these various other colors. So when we started looking at the King of Pen size, the bigger size, we go, where do we start? It kind of logically was like, well, let's round out this line. The color's doing well. People seem to like it, so let's give it a try. Adding some color to that King of Pen line has been
it's a big pen.
It's a big pen, but it's not the cheapest pen in the world either.
No.
So we were a little bit nervous, like, what if people don't like it? What if when you're buying a big pen, it's got to be black? Who knows?
Yeah.
So we gave it a try, and so far so good. The response has been fantastic, and thank you for kind of getting the word out there as well.
Sure.
And gotten a lot of great feedback about it.
Yeah, so have people been testing out the pens, have been trying them out and everything?
There's been a kind of combination of people who come by, retailers that come by and say, wow, I've heard of Sailor, I love it, and they try it out and they place orders, and then there's others who've never heard of the brand. Mm-hmm. So we educate them. That's a 180-year-old company and so forth, and it's been pretty cool to kind of educate people about the brand and watch their faces go, it costs what? And then they start writing with it, and they go, now I understand why it costs what it costs.
What else is interesting and fun for pen enthusiasts or stationery enthusiasts that you'd want to share?
I think for pen enthusiasts, what we're trying to do more of is get the word out there on ballpoint pens as well. So Sailor has a fantastic ballpoint pen. I've got one here. I've got a couple of them here. So in the 1911 series as well, what they did is that they revamped this about a year and a half ago, where they're available in the large size and then the smaller size as well. They actually use a proprietary refill, so it's their own ink. Everything's made in Japan. So everybody groans when they say, oh, it's not a standard Parker refill, but Sailor's belief is they want to control the entire writing experience down to the ink. So one of the things we always talk about is, like, at trade shows in particular, you get all these business cards, and a lot of people like myself, we write on the business cards.
Right.
You write with like a normal gel pen or whatever, and then it smears off on the Sailor pens. Like, the ink is so different, it doesn't smear off, and so we use it we show how the ink difference is versus normal like Parker refills. So these ballpoint pens are amazing.
Well, the point there you made about the proprietary refills, I feel is the same argument that could be made towards nibs too, because you see a homogenization in the market with a lot of companies putting Yovo nibs on, and they're just all coming out of the same factory. So it just then becomes a difference of like, well, what kind of shell of a pen am I going to put around this nib? But like with the Sailor nib is such a different, unique experience that people will go to Sailor for that nib.
That writing experience is all about the refill, it's all about the nib, it's all about all those things that if somebody has a Sailor pen with a different refill in it and say, oh, I don't like the way it writes, then it reflects poorly in Sailor, right?
Absolutely,
so I get it, and that's why they did that, but it's a great writing, great pen, and so it's kind of the best kept secret at $60 for that kind of small retail for that kind of pen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough to beat, I think. So.
Absolutely. Maybe like you want to talk about the paper skater there?
Absolutely. So this is a really cool product that we've developed called the Paper Skater Galaxy. It's all aluminum barrel outside, and it's available in 4 different colors, but as you unscrew it, you can see there's a fountain pen inside, and then as you unscrew the bottom, it reveals a little magic there, where it's a Itoya blade fountain pen, which is a disposable fountain pen. So there's a lot of ink in there, and with the cap on it, it looks like that. So this disposable fountain pen, retails for $3.99, and so once you're done with this, you throw this out and put in a new one. And get it back together again. So it's kind of more like a pen jacket, if you will, rather than a pen with a refill inside, and available in the black, blue. There's this orange one, and there's one a lime green one as well. And so this one's really great. And then we also made it with a little bit of an extra added feature as well, where there's a little converter piece in the back, but it also
just flew away.
The Pilot Varsity as well, for those of you who are fans of the disposable.
So it's just like a little spacer that allows you to get that additional amount of clearance to push the nib forward.
So we designed it so that the neck part of it is similar to our pen. The cap also is airtight as well. It can accommodate both the Varsity or the blade, so it goes right in. A little adapter goes on in the back, and then the same back piece goes on. So the Varsity is just a little bit shorter than our Itoya blade. That's why it requires that little spacer piece in the back. No ink spilling, no filling, no cartridges to deal with, and so we know the Pilot Varsity does well. It's a great pen, and our Itoya blade, the competitor to that, is also a great pen. So a little bit more of a finer point than the Varsity, but similar concept. And so this pen kind of holds both, and so it's a pretty cool one we launched last year, and it's been doing really well.
Awesome.
We've been kind of dabbling in and launching a lot of new stuff, like our new Oasis notebook here on the left. This notebook is a great product. Available in 3 sizes and 3 colors, and the paper, everything is made in Japan. The paper is super soft and smooth, and has a great pattern inside that's a combo between a line, grid, and dot. So whatever your needs are, you can kind of use these books. Again, because the paper is so smooth, it's fountain pen friendly. So you can write on one side, doesn't bleed through the other side. And price point wise, that's like you're talking about half the cost of what a European notebook might cost. So I mean, the middle size one retails for $9.99 when books are normally $20. So we're pretty excited to get this out there. We launched it last year, and honestly, it's been our hit product in our brand, the Itoya side brand, for this year. People who love fountain pens, this is nothing new to them, as they know the experience is about having the right paper as well. But for a lot of us Americans that grew up with cheaper, inexpensive $1 notebooks and notepads and things like that, like paper was never a consideration. We used really poor quality paper. Just like a good coffee, That's right.
Everybody grew up on like Maxwell House and Sanka, and then it's like when Starbucks came out, it was like the great revolution of coffee and whatnot. This is another item that's from Itoya that features the blade fountain pen, the disposable fountain pen that is actually what's called a Sidekick. It's a journal. It's like a pen holder for your journal that is magnetically attaching. So you see, like, it kind of just kind of goes like that, so that you would be able to put it over your notebook cover and have your pen attached in like a little holster satchel like this. And then similarly with the zipper case here, works in the same principle, where it has the strap that has the magnet on it. You could attach a full-on zipper case. That way you could not only just put one pen, but you could put like little refills, accessories, little tchotchkes that you would need with your journal. You could have it in a zipper case that attaches to the front cover of your journal.
So it just very simply just goes through like that. Attach it. So
it's a strong magnet.
It's a very strong magnet. It's about 50 pages. We'll go through hardcover books.
Right.
So this is really designed as a one-size-fits-all, and it's been great. It's been doing really well for us, and four different colors, and people love it. People they get it once you start using it.
Well, I know one of the things that our customers have been talking about, which I mean we were just talking about just briefly, was the changes in the ink bottle. With the Sailor Four Seasons inks, we're doing very well with the 50 milliliters because they're going away, but they're also getting replaced with the 20 milliliter ink bottles, and you know it hasn't been received all that well by people, particularly on social media.
It's actually kind of a little bit of a long story, but the history of that revolves around the original round Sailor ink bottle that they've had forever. It wasn't designed to hold liquid. It wasn't designed as an ink bottle. It was actually a cosmetics bottle where you had some sort of cream in it, and they used that same bottle. So originally they had a lot of kind of liquid leakage problems with it.
Right.
So they've always wanted to change it, except they had all this inventory. And as they started reintroducing new colors, they started designing these new, you might have, of course, have seen it, the 50 milliliter square big one that's now available for the black and the blue black. And then they launched the little 20 milliliter bottles for their Four Seasons colors in Japan. And so they've been making that switch slowly but surely to all those colors in Japan. In the U.S., we knew this was coming, so we basically bought a lot of inventory of the 50 milliliter because we knew the American audience wants it, and so we've got a lot of it in, and that's kind of why we've been trying to, as the announcement has gone out, we kind of have both inventories running right now.
Right. So
Sailor made that change to that smaller bottle for two reasons. One, the Japanese domestic audience wants smaller bottles. Their consumers have spoken, and so that's why they made the switch. But in terms of cost, the majority of the cost, you have to remember, goes into the packaging. So it's the glass bottle,
it's
and
the shipping,
and the packaging.
Yeah.
The ink inside it's really just water if you really think about it. So that's not where the cost is. The cost is all in the packaging. So just because you go from a larger bottle to a smaller bottle doesn't mean your costs decrease that much.
Right.
If you could buy just a bag of ink, that's really the ideal way, because
but I mean then like it loses a lot of that luster. That's it's like it's like, okay, I just got a bag of ink, what am I doing with this thing? Again,
it's primarily just water and dye and whatever else they put in it, but that's not where the cost is. It's in packaging.
How can Red Bull afford to drop somebody from like the upper stratosphere, like pay them like millions of dollars? I'm like, look, what is it that they're selling? A beverage in a can. Like, how much could that possibly cost? So like making that, you make it in a big batch, you probably cost you like a couple of cents a can. You're selling it for $2 a pop. So same thing with ink, is really not all that expensive, but it's just everything around it that I mean, you have to protect that ink from where it gets made to the eventual end user. Looking at the wide array of ink colors that are around and all the different types you could try, like how are you able to justify getting 50 milliliter bottles of every single one of those colors when like there is no feasible way that you could actually go through that amount of ink in your entire lifetime?
It's not uncommon to go into a Japanese pen store that's about the size of this booth, that's 10 by 10.
Right.
It's actually pretty common. And so you go in there and now you've got 50 milliliter bottles and you've got 100 different colors. Like, where are you going to put it?
Right.
So that's also part of their consideration as well. They listen to the retailers that have also said they want the smaller bottles. And so that's kind of what's driving a lot of these decisions, really. We're trying our best. That's why we tried to lower the prices a little bit from retail of 18 to 15, and we hope people continue to buy it. Even when you look at production runs, make a difference too. So our North America exclusive colors like Epinard and Grenade and those colors, Apricot, those are actually priced higher because we buy them in smaller batches. They're made exclusively from North America, so they retail for $25. And people go, why does that cost more? It's the same bottle, it's the same ink. It's just they're made in smaller batches, so it costs more to make.
I think it's going to come down to it's a quality ink, it's a quality product, it's worthwhile paying for.
So it's a rolling change for us, and so some stores may have a little bit of both inventory, but probably by later this summer, everything will probably be switched over to 20.
I appreciate you taking the time with us and showing us the Itoya booth and going over Sailor products and also the Itoya portfolio products. I hope that you guys have a very successful show and that you'll be back next year too.
Absolutely.
We'll catch up.
So far, and so we'll definitely be back, and we're probably going to go bigger next year now that we've learned a little bit. So thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.